was a cold, rainy morning on the island of Sodor. Trevor was working in the fields at Elsbridge when Thomas pulled up. "Hello, Trevor," he said. "Oh, hello," said Trevor. "It's an awfully wet and cold morning." "Yeah, you're right," said Thomas. Just then, Trevor heard a familiar sound. It was the sound of George's steamroller. "Hey, George, what'd we say? You have to stay on the other side of Gordon's Hill." "But it gets so lonely there," said George. "George, we had an agreement. I don't want to make any issues. You hear me?" Well then, I better get going." "All right, George, now get out." "Oh, but it gets so lonely on the other side of Gordon's Hill." "I don't care. You are going to go back on the other side immediately, or else I am going to tell the Fat Controller about this." "Fine. I don't think he would care anyway." "Oh, yes, he would." "No, he wouldn't." "Yes, he would," said Trevor. "Fine, maybe he would care. But I am sick and tired of being on the other side of Gordon's Hill. You have no idea how lonely it is. I want a rematch." "Ooh, a rematch, you say now?" "Well, I suppose it would make for an interesting headline. Traction engine beats steamroller again in race. Can we at least give it a shot?" "Fine, but this time, no cheating. We'll race from the yard to Wellsworth." "Fine. 12 o'clock today." And the deal was made. Later, they soon met at the yard. "Ready?" said their drivers. "Set and go," they yelled. George set off much quicker than Trevor. George raced down quick to the railroad crossing. Trevor rounded the park. George raced over. Trevor, meanwhile, slowly went down the right path while George took a shortcut. "Ha," said George. "What a great idea this was." But then George realized something. He had ended up at the quarry. He asked Jack where he was. "Oh, you're at the quarry, of course. You didn't know that?" I'm in a race. What's the quickest way to get to Wellsworth?" "Wellsworth? That's a long ways from here. You would have to go all past Timothy's sheds." "Well, that was very vague, but thank you." He quickly raced off. Meanwhile, Trevor was slowly going through the countryside. George knew that he couldn't go over the tracks normally, but he was in a hurry to win the race, and he crashed into a signal while he went over the tracks. It was now blocking any engine going to the quarry. George rolled up to Hank. "Hank, do you know where Wellsworth is from here?" "Oh, yeah," said Hank. "I know where it is. It's gonna be past that side of Gordon's Hill." "Okay, thank you," he said, and George hurried away. George was going very fast, and the roads were very slippery. And when he realized he was about to crash, he turned away quickly, but spun in circles. George quickly got back on the road and started going on to Wellsworth. Meanwhile, Trevor had just entered the forest. Wellsworth was now in sight. "I'm going to win, I'm going to win," he chanted. But Trevor also noticed George racing to Wellsworth. "Oh no," Trevor said. "I have to hurry up." George raced down the hill. He was coming closer. He soon came to a crossing. He raced through it. "No, you stupid steamroller!" George then came to a toll booth. His driver had to pay a toll. But just as the crossing was about to go down, George raced through. "Ha ha," he exclaimed. "Me 1, Society 0. Wellsworth was only a few feet away. "I'm going to win! I'm going to win!" But just then Trevor came in. "No!" yelled George. "Yes!" yelled Trevor. George was ashamed. Trevor, meanwhile, was very proud of himself, and he slowly went back to the orchard. Just then Sir Topham had arrived. "George, you have caused confusion and delay. You knocked over a signal, spun around Terrence's field, raced through the crossing, and you didn't pay the toll. Oops. George, I have decided that I do not want you on my railway anymore. Plus, I just remembered that I have Buster. You will no longer be needed, so I want you off this island immediately." "Yes, sir," said George sadly, and he slowly went away. George was slowly going through the forest when he heard a whisper. "George, is that you?" "Huh? Who is it?" "It's me, P.T. Boomer." "Oh, you! I remember you." "Yes, it is me. Now what's with the sad face? Something happened?" "Yes, Sir Topham had kicked me off the island. I just wanted a little race with Trevor, but no, somehow Trevor won, just like the last time. And now I don't have anywhere to go." "Well, that sounds awfully sad," said P.T. Boomer. "Why don't you come work for me? We'll demolish the railway." "Oh, okay then. That sounds like a good plan. Yes, I have assembled quite the team. You'll recognize a few familiar faces. Yes. Now, come to our meeting next Wednesday. We'll be talking about quite a few matters." And P.T. Boomer disappeared into the dark.